All right, so here is paragraph 2. And I bet when you read this, your feelings were a little bit different than the spinal cord. I bet you were feeling uneasy, like you were confused. I bet you read a lot slower than the first time. The first paragraph, I bet you read the spinal cord one really quickly and it was easy. And then you got to this one and you had to start and you had to restart and you had to reread and you had to slow down. So, what was difficult about this paragraph? Think about that in your head. Maybe write it down in your notebook. What was difficult? What was the part that really messed you up? When I read it, I'm going to say confused here. No, I did not feel comfortable or confident. And no, I didn't feel like the ideas really went. I was too tripped up and I didn't understand it. And then I want you to look at this last one. What did you do? What strategies did you use in order to understand what the author was trying to say? So I'm going to talk to you about the strategy that I used when I read this. When I read it, I got tripped up because it's hard. It just was really hard to keep track of everything. In an isolated anti-world, anti-people would go about their lives the same as we do. I could get that. When an anti-person flipped on an anti-switch, anti-atoms in the anti-light bulb would give off the same kind of light that you are using to read these words. There would be no annihilation going on because there would be no ordinary matter involved. However, if you happened to be transported to this anti-world and tried to shake hands with your anti-self, the two of you would disappear into a titanic titanic explosion. I don't even know that word. In that explosion, your bodies would be converted almost entirely to pure energy. All that would be left would be electromagnetic radiation and a thin cloud of particles. Okay, so first of all, I have no background knowledge. I don't. And I'm not going to look anything up right now because it's a paragraph. And we're going to think about why this was hard for me. All right, so here's what was hard for me. The prefix anti. That prefix anti tripped me up. It made me have to reread and slow down, and just that part of the word in all of these words right here tripped me up. And this gave me a different feeling than when I was reading the spinal cord. The thing about the spinal cord is that I understood it because I already kind of knew about what a spinal cord was, and it was really well written. And so I could follow it really easily. And that felt sort of like it's just supposed to feel that way, right? But when you get to this one, and all of a sudden you have all of these prefixes that are in your way, and I didn't really understand. I don't understand the topic. I think the topic might have something to do with physics, but that's only because some of my students have told me that. I've never taken physics, so I have no idea about physics. So what I did, my strategy for this paragraph was that I just left off this prefix. I kind of crossed them out. And then I could read it a lot easier because the antis weren't there. Now, that doesn't mean that I understood the text very well, but I could read it a lot better. Now, I didn't forget that the antis were there. I had that over here I had to pin it over on the side. Like I knew that I was talking about an anti-world, and I didn't forget that, but I just took the antis off because then I could read it easily. I probably needed on for this one. In an isolated anti-world, people would go about their lives the same as we do. When a person flipped a switch, atoms in the light bulb would get off the same light, right? So then I could read it fluently, because my fluency with the antis was tripping me up. Now, I think I know what annihilation is. It just means complete destruction. I probably should look it up because I'm not absolutely positive, but I'm pretty sure. I know that matter exists in three forms, right? So there's liquid, gas, and solid, right? So matter is the stuff we're made of. But I don't really know what I don't even know Titanic means. Or is it Titanic? Could be. Not sure. I just think that that means big based on the context clues. And then, yeah, I think this is physics. I'm not sure. Maybe? And it talks about how there's another parallel universe, the anti-world, right? And there were no text features to help me at all. The author didn't help me at all. So what I want you to do is I really want you to pay attention to how this made you feel and how the feelings are different. And we're going to talk about that on the next slide.